What does it take to build homes that genuinely change how people live? My next guest on today's episode of Leaders in Focus has been asking exactly that question as he sits at the heart of one of India's most purposeful real estate companies. My next guest is Vimalendra Singh, who is the Chief Business Officer Residential at Mahindra Lifespaces. So come with me as I sit with him and talk about building with humanity, with purpose and deep thoughtfulness in our next episode. Hello viewers, if you're watching this, you're tuned into yet another episode of Leaders in Focus. With me over here is Vimalendra Singh. He's the Chief Business Officer for Residential at Mahindra Lifespaces. Mr. Singh, Vimalendra, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks, Karan. Wonderful to have you also.
So, Vimalendra, when I was reading up about you, the first thing that jumped at me was your background in banking across Citibank, across Standard Chartered, Bank of Kuwait and Bahrain. What has that experience, taught you about leadership, and how do you apply that to your work here in the real estate industry?
A lot of the people have asked me this question. They are in their mind, banking and real estate are chalk and cheese. They're very different. Yeah. But I guess fundamentally, my professional journey is deeply rooted in the banking sector. And it is not just in one particular geography. So I was in Middle East for a long time. Okay. I was in US and then I was in India. And obviously, a lot of the learnings that I had in the banking world, I was able to take that and actually implement in the real estate sector as well. Just to give you an example, for a long period of time in banking, I was actually into wealth management, private banking, which there's a lot of emphasis on relationship management, right? And distribution. So if I just take these two elements of my banking journey, relationship management and the distribution. Now, I was able to take these two elements and actually implement it in the real estate sector. Let me give you an example. We, in the real estate world, we have channel partners who contribute to almost 70% of our business.
Right.
Now, essentially, how do you get a channel partner to work with you? Which essentially brings to two things. Again, you need to have a great relationship with the channel partner because he will have a customer and he many a times is at a liberty to take that customer anywhere. He can take that customer to all the competition projects or he can bring it to Mahindra project. But if you have a great relationship, which means he knows you by name, he knows you by face, of course, and you're able to cultivate a proper relationship. If he has a customer, he'll first bring it to Mahindra project. Now that is relationship management. Now in distribution, it simply means there are so many channel partners out there in the market, which means you should have a team which is able to reach out to them maybe weekly, maybe fortnightly, maybe monthly, and widen this distribution network. So in today's time, it is not about people coming to your project. It is about you taking your project to a wider set of audience through the intermediaries called as channel partners. So that's distribution. So that's how I connect my banking journey with my real estate journey, and that has really given great dividends. And now you see, all the competition, in a sense, in the real estate sector, they all are adopting this particular approach. So thanks to my banking journey, I was able to do that in the reality sector.
Lots of adjacencies over there, so to speak, that you can draw on. So let's talk a little bit about Mahindra Rainforest itself, because it's a project of massive scale. When it comes to building out something like that, how do you make sure it's a complete living environment rather than just another residential project?
This is a 37-acre land parcel. It has the largest urban greens in the city. That's why we call it rainforest. That is the reason why it's named as Mahindra Rainforest. Now, you pick any location in Mumbai or the wider MMR region, where do you have a project which has got acres of natural greens, lush trees? You don't have it, right? And to the second part of your question, right? In our mind, how did we accept this project, or why are we doing this project which is so large? Because traditionally, Mahindra Lifespaces has done smaller projects. I think that I'll take you back 3 years. Where we re-articulated our vision, where we re-articulated our general strategy, and we said for a long time Mahindra Lifespaces has not done justice to the brand that it is, and it is about time that we really live up to the brand and we live up to all the promises and all the expectations that the general people have from Mahindra Group and Mahindra Lifespaces. That's where I think we completely pivoted and we said, hey, we want to be really big in scale. And a lot of the people who expect a lot more from Mahindra Lifespaces across the geographies. So one thing we did is, instead of operating in multiple cities, we narrowed down the focus to only 3 cities, which by the way constitute to almost 65 to 70% of real estate space in the country, which is the MMR region, the Bangalore region, and the Pune region. We of course have integrated cities in Chennai and in Jaipur, and residential is a part of that. But by and large, MMR, Pune, Bangalore. We said let's become big in these markets. Now, how do you become big and how do you make your brand, which is a very salient brand? While people know Mahindra, it's important that people also know Mahindra Lifespaces in the same spirit and the same way. One way to do that is really build a marquee location and a marquee destination. And that's how this project, Mahindra Rainforest, was born. We said, let's own this space, 37 acres, very large. Mahindra has never done that, but we have the confidence, we have the resources, we have the people, and we have the ability to back ourselves to be able to deliver this. And that's how this project happened.
Right.
And I'm glad we did that, because now today, if you look at the entire micro market in this area, we are actually doing the most number of sales. Our APR realization, which is the price per square foot, is the highest. We are commanding a premium. It is not just because of the address, it is not just because of the amenities that we are offering, but it is because of the promise of lifestyle, because of those emotive connects. It's obviously a net zero project.
Yes.
You spoke about net zero, and that connects very well today, across the age groups. It's not just a theme which is only for young people. I think a lot of senior people, mid-age people are able to connect, because what do we see? And I'll just take you back 3 days. What has happened in Mumbai? There was a deluge, right?
Oh,
for
yes.
the last 5 days. And that is what is happening in the world today. The climate change is real. It is impacting millions and millions of people. So as Mahindra, we believe it is our responsibility, to be able to do our bit towards the climate, towards the ecology, towards the future generations. Because we believe, and there's a very beautiful Latin American saying, and I'll just say that, we don't own the world, right, or the planet. We actually borrow this planet from our future generations, right? So we have a big responsibility for all the future generations. We will continue on this path of net zero, sustainable construction in a big way. And I can tell you, Karan, people are recognizing this.
Yeah.
People are asking for it now. It is no more passive. It's a very active demand where people are saying, hey, tell me, what are you doing for the society? What are you doing for the climate? What are you doing for the environment? So I'm mighty proud of the fact that we were the first developer to pioneer net zero. Now many have followed.
Yeah.
We were the first developer to have 100% green portfolio when it was not mandated, when it was not needed, all the way from 2014. So we build, and we build very responsibly.
You spoke about net zero, and I know that that's something that's very, very near and dear to Mahindra Lifespaces' heart, so to speak. But how do you make a commitment like that really come to life rather than just be a vision statement on paper?
Again, conviction. We are, while obviously it's a going concern, it's a company which has investors. We are responsible to the shareholders. We obviously need to make money, right?
Yeah.
But is money the only motto for us? The answer is no. It is always profit with purpose. And that is what even is the theme of Mahindra Group, and our MD and Group CEO has already said that it's profit and purpose go together. We will not talk. If you don't have profit, you really can't do much for the purpose that you have.
One feeds the other.
Right. So, and then you have to stick to it. And the reason we do sustainability, the reason we do net zero, although it means a planning cycle is longer, you need to get certain amount of approvals, you need to invest a lot more in the materials. But I guess we have a lot of conviction. We said that we are doing it for whom, and as I said earlier, we are doing it for all the future generations. That's part of our DNA. That's who we are. It's not about money, whether we get the premium or we don't get the premium for the money that we spend. But we know that we are leaving a legacy which is going to remember us for all the good things and the right things that we want to do and that we are doing. So it's about the DNA, it's about the faith, it's about the belief, and not about the money in this case.
That's a lovely way to look at things. You mentioned earlier, that you all scale back a little bit. You're focusing now on Mumbai, Pune, on Bengaluru, and of course you're playing a whole lot more when it comes to Mumbai's entire redevelopment market as well. All of these markets have very different demands. So then, how do you make sure you've got your finger on that pulse always? You're catering to their demands, their aspirations of these diverse homeowners.
Yeah, no, thank you. As I said, earlier we were present in many cities, but we were not big in any city. So we decided, and real estate is a very local business, As you rightly said, there are micro markets,
Yeah.
and you need to be a player of scale so that you can get economies of scale. Otherwise, it's challenging.
Yeah.
So we said we'll operate in these three markets, which are inherently very stable markets, very robust markets. The demand is great, and we want to be big in these three markets. And that is the journey that we have undertaken since the last 3 years. Today, you'll be happy to know, Karan, that we have almost 47,000 crores worth of development potential available, which we are actually looking to launch in next 2 to 3 years. Now, that's a big task. Coming specifically to Mumbai, Mumbai is not one market. Mumbai essentially is like 6 or 7 micro markets, right? You have almost 5+ municipal corporations here, approving authorities. So it's 5 to 7 markets in one geographical location. So obviously it means that we need to understand the regulations of different municipal corporations. We need to understand the DCPR very well. We need to know the local pulse in terms of what product they are expecting, what is the kind of demand which is there. And we do that well. I spend a lot of time meeting a lot of landowners. I spend a lot of time meeting associated people with the real estate sector. I meet a lot of channel partners as well, so that you get a first-hand feel of what is happening on the ground. Right? Even today that we are sitting here, just before this particular meeting, I had a meeting with a landowner where I was discussing a definitive agreement point by point with them. You need to make those investments, and this is a business where you can't get anything wrong because it's an irreversible process. Once the approvals are received, it's a very difficult one to redo the design.
Yeah.
So you need to be correct the first time, and you need to be correct every time.
That's a big ask.
And it's a big ask, and it's a challenge which I enjoy because real estate in many ways is a sector which is connected to the country's future, right? If we have to become a developed nation by 2047, as our Honorable Prime Minister has given a clarion call, real estate and infra is going to be the biggest contributor to that. Today, it is the second largest employer after agriculture, just to give you statistics. If you looked at developed nations, the real estate and infra contributes almost 16 to 17% of GDP. India, it is roughly 9 to 10%. So we have a significant headroom to grow in reality as a sector, significant headroom to contribute to India's overall growth journey. So if India has to become a developed nation, the reality and the infra has to keep contributing and keep rocking.
So my final question for you, Vimalendra, and this is one that's very near and dear to my heart, is there any advice that was offered to you over the course of your career that really stuck out with you, something you could offer for our viewers back home?
No, definitely. I mean, it's 22 plus years of corporate journey so far after I completed my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And during the course of the journey, there have been many humbling moments, let me put it that way. Not everything has been a success story,
Of course.
both in the banking world and in the real estate world. I have seen my highs, I've also seen my lows. But I always remember and swear by one statement which I tell my team, and which one of my manager actually told me, is that when you are high, don't lose your mind. When you are low, don't lose your heart.
Oh, that's great.
And that's what has kept me going. Lots of learning. We'll probably not have time. Maybe we'll have to do another series in terms of learning.
Yeah.
But yes, it's never going to be a journey which is only up and up and up. There will always be ups and downs, and you need to be able to. But the only thing which is consistent is, have you given your 100%? I always believe that if you have done your 100% and the results don't come your way, that's fine. Take learning from that and then move on.
Beautiful. I think that's a beautiful note, to end things off on. Vimalendra, thank you so much for being here with us as part of this episode. Leaders in Focus. It was lovely having you.
No, thank you very much, Karan. Wonderful to have this conversation with you, and wish you and the team all the very best for the future.
Thank you so much. As Mumbai's skyline keeps rising to the skies, it's good to know that some of its finest chapters are being built with thought, with care, with purposefulness, and yes, with a great degree of ambition. I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Leaders in Focus. I'll see you in the next one.